So they classify in different ways. They have a subtle or low energy injury. That's kind of like a plant and a twist kind of injury. And the mechanism of injury is a load is placed onto a foot when your foot is fully what they call plantar flexor. So if you're up on your toes and there's a load that's placed on it, that's how this injury usually occurs. It usually occurs while wearing cleats because you have such a tremendous grip on the ground and your foot doesn't have any play in it at all when that force is applied. So you're going to see what that looks like right here. So here's the joint, okay? Here's your foot, it's fully flexed. The load comes this way onto it. Let's say you're getting tackled, and I'll show you pictures of that too. Let's say you're getting tackled, it forces this bone, it shifts it forward, and the ligament tears, okay? And that is a Lisfranc injury. All right, so you're gonna see what it looks like in real time. I'll show you that next slide. So this can occur in a couple different ways. You can have a high energy injury due to a motor vehicle accident. I'll show you what that looks like, and a crush injury. Those types of injuries are associated with more significant bony injuries and compartment syndrome. Compartment syndrome would be impairment of the blood flow to a certain part of your foot. It's usually due, again, to an axial load to the foot right down on the heel. Equinus is what you saw, that position where it's pushed down. And a crush injury, something really falls on your foot really heavy or from a high distance, or forceful torsion of the foot. So these are some of the examples. So here's a tackle. The guy's foot's planted, he's pushing off on it. This guy's full weight is going to come right down on his heel, drive it into the ground. Okay, that's one of the injuries. This would be an injury from like falling from a height. So you've heard of people falling off a balcony or something, but they land on their feet, but they have these tremendous foot injuries because of the height they're coming down on. If they don't completely fracture their foot, which is shown here, their foot just collapses. So the weight of their full weight's coming down right on a foot that's planted out like that. It just can't support it and the foot just crumbles, okay? This is how it happens in a car accident. Car accident, you see a head-on collision coming, you see it coming, you plant on that brake, right? So you're really forcefully pushing down on it. But as soon as you hit a stationary object, this pedal drives backwards, but the rest of your weight drives forward still, all right? And it just separates that joint right through here. So it's pretty common in motor vehicle accidents, yeah.
You see younger kids with Lisfranc injuries due to a lot of pounding and landing on their ball of the feet too much?
Not Lisfranc. We see other problems from that. This is more of a torsional injury. This is more of an injury right at that midfoot complex here. So if they're doing a lot, let's say like long distance running, a lot of repetitive running, they'll probably end up with more like plantar fasciitis or something along those lines, not as much this type of injury. This is a more of like an abrupt kind of
single impact.
Usually. Yep. So here's an example of a grade 4 injury. So he was pushing off here. This guy, as you can see, what was going to happen next, right? So he's coming straight down on his foot. He had a grade 4 injury, which is like the worst kind. He had surgery in October of 2012, I believe. And then they plated it, and I'll show you what that looks like too in a later slide. The plate was removed the following March. So he injured in October, surgery. The plate was removed the following March, and in June he still wasn't running or cutting. So it took him a while to come back, actually.
So that was a Lisfranc injury?
Yep, that's a Lisfranc.
Sever of the tendon?
It was a complete tear of the tendon, and I think he also had a fracture, I believe.
That's Antonio Holmes?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So this was not 2017, this was 2016 season. Big Talk Roethlisberger had his Lisfranc injury as well. He didn't have surgery though. He recovered from it, but that's another way you can see it happening. Foot's in that position, 300 pounds, driving down onto his heel.
The tendon just got stressed.
Yeah, so
it's really a ligament, right?
Yeah, it's a ligament. So we're going to talk about the classifications, but you can have it just stretched and inflamed. It could be torn. It could be torn and displaced. There's different ways to classify it.